welcome to Exploring the Way. I am Pastor Gwen, and I am so glad that you are here to join in our explorations this week. We have been exploring the way of love and joy and peace as we have moved through the fall and as we are journeying toward Christmas. A Christmas that's going to be very different from any other Christmas. So hopefully you are in a place where you are ready to listen. Maybe you are in your car. Hopefully you're not looking at me if you're in your car. And let's begin. It is the Christmas season, and like I said, it's going to be very different this year. It's like the 2020 edition where we go to less Christmas parties and spend less time with family and friends, but have more time for baking and more time for online shopping. It is kind of a topsy-turvy time. But one of the things that is constant and maybe not that different from previous years is our access to Christmas music. If you have turned on a radio, you know there it is, the same 10 songs over and over again. Or maybe you are streaming through one of the music services and finding all these great Christmas songs. I'm wondering if you have any favorite Christmas songs this year, or if you have any songs that when you hear them, either you've heard them too much or you just don't like the message in them, they just kind of grate on you. Do you have any favorites or least favorites? Share in the comments below. A few of these Christmas songs deal with Mary, the mother of Jesus. Just yesterday I was listening to Christmas music and Ave Maria came up. These songs about Mary tend to be slower and lullaby-like and are designed, it seems, to tug at our heartstrings. No offense if this is your favorite song or if you really like this song, but Mary, Did You Know goes over the top with the sweetness level, in my opinion. Of course, Mary didn't know what the future held or what her son would do or how the theologians would interpret it. She is a 13-year-old girl who is just probably hoping to survive childbirth, pre-medical advances, and have a healthy baby. Ironically, while this song asks tons of rhetorical questions of Mary, it completely ignores what we are told about Mary in Luke's gospel. We are told that she said yes when asked to participate in what God was doing in her time and place. We are told that she seeks out support of her relative Elizabeth, not attempting to lone ranger this journey before her. We are told that she receives an affirmation both from Elizabeth, who says, "Blessed are you among women," but also from John, who is in Elizabeth's womb, and leaps at Mary's arrival. We are told as well that she breaks into song, a song of resistance and revolution. She declares that God is on the side of the underdog and she is the latest beneficiary. The fact that God would choose her, a young woman of color with limited resources, to do anything of significance points to God's radical ways. She sings about God turning things upside down, scattering the proud in their conceit, deposing the mighty from their thrones, raising the lowly up to high places, filling the hungry with good things, and sending the rich away empty. If you want to read that whole thing, which I highly recommend, you'll find it in Luke, the first chapter, verses 46 to 55. I'll try to remember to put a link in the comments below. This is the kind of song that Mary is uniquely positioned to sing because of who she is. She is a woman. She is a minority. She is a Jewish woman during a Roman occupation. She is young and she is poor. Mary is able to see the coming of Christ as a radical turn of events. She is able to hear it as good news. Her instinctual response is proclamation. Honestly, some, maybe most of us would choke on these words. They sound threatening to anyone who benefits from being male or white or wealthy. Our privilege makes it hard to hear this song for what it is. It would simply cost us too much to believe that God is really in the business of turning tables. Mary's place in the world, on the other hand, allows her to embrace the unfolding mystery of the divine in ways that we may find hard to access. She gets it. She gets that God comes not as a mighty warrior, but as an infant child. God comes not as a king with wealth and power, but as a peasant born into poverty. God comes not in popularity and celebrity, but through scorn and a cross. Mary gets this from the very beginning. She doesn't know how it's going to unfold. She can't see into the future, but she understands the ways God works. And she shares this with us in this beautiful song that we call the Magnificat. One wonders how anyone could read Mary's song recorded in the Gospel of Luke and think of Mary as sugary sweet, someone for whom to write a slow lullaby-like song. She is tough and fierce and unafraid. One wonders how anyone could hear her testimony and think that Jesus or God has any interest in making the wealthy more money or giving more power to the powerful. Seriously, countries have banned this song because it challenges the powers that be. So one source, and I'm gonna paste this source in one of the comments below. One source says that the Magnificat was banned being sung or read in India during British rule. They banned it. In the 1980s, it was banned in Guatemala. And after the mothers of the Plaza de Mayo, whose children disappeared during the Dirty War, placed the Magnificat's words on posters throughout the Capitol Plaza, the military junta in Argentina outlawed any public display of Mary's song. This is radical stuff. And yet so many songs and images attempt to domesticate Mary. They make her into this passive vehicle for Jesus' arrival and a sweet singer of lullabies. But she was so much more than that. She chose to actively participate in God's work in the world. She helped form Jesus. She was his mother. She helped form Jesus into the person he would be. Fierce, courageous, passionate, reaching out to those on the margins and speaking truth to power. This tenacious woman mothered Jesus into an audacious man. Makes sense, right? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree and all that stuff. And so I'm wondering today if you have a favorite Mary song. And if what I've mentioned today challenges that song, how do you think about Mary and this Magnificat? Is it something that sunk deeply into you and you realize how challenging and radical it is? Or is it just something that is really, really hard to fathom? Is God really in the business of turning tables? And do we find that comforting or threatening? Or maybe we have a different reaction entirely that I haven't mentioned before. So if you have any comments that you want to share about that, please share them below. As a Lutheran, as someone who was raised Lutheran, it wasn't until fairly recently that I started taking Mary seriously. It's kind of like the Roman Catholics get Mary, and the Lutherans, like there's kind of something in the Lutheran culture that makes people hesitant to do anything that might be construed as Roman Catholic. And yet this is a character in Scripture, and this is someone that we sing about and whose words are super powerful. And so I want to reclaim Mary for those of you who are of the Lutheran persuasion or Protestant of any kind, right? Mary is got a lot to teach us, I think. So thank you so much for joining me. Oh, this is a short one today. Interesting. Thanks for joining me. There'll be another posted next week, which I know is Christmas. It's coming up here. Just a reminder to subscribe to this channel. It's a great way to support what I'm doing. I would love it if you would subscribe. It's just click that subscribe button. And thank you for journeying with me and exploring this way. Blessings as you continue to explore, and namaste.